Hi guys, welcome back. You may notice that there's no animals in the shot, but there is vegetation. So if you've been around with us for a few, seasons now, I've only been doing this a little over a year. So really, if you've been with us last year, you know that, we not only document the animals, but we document the change in seasons. And even from just last week, the greenery that has picked up along the fence lines is incredible. The growth has just become phenomenally fast. And that always happens with the woodlands. It's almost time to restart our walks in the woods and the hay fields. It's a little bit more sparse on this side, but the green is coming back. And I was hoping to get out here before the sunlight made it impossible to see. You can see, of course, our pastures have gone green. But this is also a really good chance for me to remind you that we use rotational pastures. So I mentioned the donkeys have changed pastures, right? They are now out in what I'll call the far pasture from me, right? So the one that's over there, which is huge green, longer leaves, longer stems of grass, hasn't been mowed, looks great. The pasture they just came off of is this one. And as you can tell, while it's still green, everything is a bit shorter. It actually looks like it's been mowed. That's from them tipping the grass, and they don't pull it out from the roots, they just chew at the tops of it. So this pasture is now currently resting, and it will rest all season essentially, several months, recover, grow back. Everything, will reseed. We always reseed every year, so that the grasses that we have in the pasture are actual food grasses like fescue and other appropriate grasses for the donkeys and the goats to eat, rather than just plain old New Jersey lawn grass, right? Which, yeah, they can eat, but doesn't have the same nutritional content. I think I'm spotting something, so we're going to do a quick zoom in. And, I'm not on a tripod or anything, right? So bear with me if this gets a little shaky, because we are going to have to use the massive zoom. But if I see this correctly, that is a barn cat. It is. I don't know if that's Bob or Bobbie Sox. They're too far away. But that's really cute. All tucked up there in the sunshine, but on a big old pillow of last year's dead grasses and foliage. I'll bet you that's really soft and comfy. I'm assuming it's Bobbie Sox because she's the smarter one of the bunch, and she probably found that spot, made herself a nice little nest. And she is good and tucked in there. I almost missed her. She blends in with that. But yeah, just look at the greenery that's coming back. My goldfinches are back at the feeders. Folks are talking about hummingbirds. I failed to get my hummingbird feeder out on time, and at this point, it's almost, getting toward the end of April. It's probably not worth putting out. The hummingbirds have plenty of places to feed here anyway, so they don't really need a feeder in my area. We have 19 acres of woods that we maintain. It's there's plenty of pollinator activity and places to be, and our hummingbirds do come by. It's always nice to see them at the feeder, because then at least I can spot them. But I think this year it's just going to be nature, and that's not a bad thing, right? I've told you before, I feed the birds, but I also don't want them to become dependent on our feed. I want them to enjoy the nature preserve effectively that we've created for them, the woodlands, the habitat that we've put together for them. And I want them to make sure that they stay wild, right? I don't want them to be semi-domesticated and dependent on me filling my feeders. So I actually purposely don't fill the bird feeders every time they're empty. Like right now, actually, the only feeder that has anything in it is the suet feeder, my black oil sunflower feeder, and my thistle seed feeder is empty. It emptied yesterday. I probably won't fill it till tomorrow, leave it empty for a day. And that the birds still come back. I'm not worried about that, right? It's nice to see them come back and they visit, but I also want them to spend a day or two having to go forage and stay wild. That's just my preference, right? I don't live in suburbia. And at this time of the year, there's an abundance of food sources on my property. So that's the situation. It just dawned on me a freaking 5 minutes into this video that I haven't done my intro, so that's par for the course. Listen, guys, it's Racing for Home Farm. The animals rule the schedule. I just try and keep up. Nothing here is scripted, obviously. Nothing's planned. I see stuff, I video it, I talk about it, and I bring it to you. If you like that kind of content, and you must because you're here this long, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, that little thumbs up, hit the share button, that little arrow. Share it with your friends, share it to your other social media feeds. The more that word gets out that this channel exists, people who may not have found it because we're so tiny, we are a very tiny channel, might be interested, might enjoy the content, might enjoy seeing the animals and sort of the farm as it is. And if so, that helps get the word out about the animals. And I can tell you that it has helped spread the word about our goats, our mini silky fainting goats, and our birds. And it has generated interest. And because all of our animals are on the livestock conservancy list, meaning that they're in a situation where they're either critical or threatened, or just, sometimes even just on a watch list for becoming extinct, the fact that we have generated some interest and potentially had some people who have moved into having these animals is huge, and it helps bring, keep them in this world and bring them hopefully back from the brink. And that's what we work for here on this farm. I'm not a charity. We're not 501c3 in any way, shape, or form. I don't beg for donations. If you want to help us out monetarily, I do sell products made here on the farm, soaps, lotions, bath bombs. That's always helpful. And at some point in the near future, I really hope that these videos get to a point, we haven't reached it yet, but get to a point where YouTube says, yeah, we'll pay you a couple of pennies for each advertisement that's shown. You get them anyway, so you're seeing advertisements already, sure. And I don't get any revenue from that, but maybe someday I might, and that would be extremely helpful. So that's why sharing, liking, subscribing all helps the farm. It doesn't do anything for you in terms of putting you on any watch lists or mailing lists. I don't even get to know who you are, unfortunately. I just know that I have a community out here, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope you enjoyed, kind of taking a peek around at the pastures and the foliage, and without the animals this time. It's an unusual video. We typically have the animals in it, but right now they are busy. And I just wanted to share where we were in terms of spring bloom. So I got to go get stalls cleaned. Until next time, there's work to be done. Bye for now.